but we're redoing it because we lost the footage for that. So we're redoing this Riverside Survival segment, and let's get going. We don't know if we're going to be alive or dead, but a new character start is the same. We have the same traits that we had in the that are located in the tutorial film. So some basic stuff that we're looking for. We want a can opener. We want food. We want, well, we want water, but we also want a thing that can hold water. So we could just take this empty kettle. We could take this can opener too. We want that, yep. We take this empty kettle, we can fill this. Fill empty kettle, we can drink out of that. Okay, and the other thing that I want is I need rags. The reason we need rags is so that we can bandage a wound if we get one. Another thing, this house that we started in has a television. We're going to turn that on. It's too loud. Turn it down. And we're going to go to the Life and Living television station. Okay, so I'm not sure if we are in time to hit the show or not, but because I don't have a watch yet, right? So there are shows that air in-game in the in-game time of 6 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. And we would like to watch them. They're not absolutely necessary, especially now because, okay, so we have the cook show going on, so we're just going to gain cook skill. Yeah, so we can, well, you'll be able to see the cook skill grow here while I'm talking. This is free skills to be had. It's not as important to hit the shows as it used to be. There are cassette tapes, VHS tapes that you can find in various locations, in houses and in libraries and in other kind of general storage areas. You can see the cooking skills going up. You can just find the VHS tapes. I'm not 100% sure whether or not watching the show eliminates the availability of gaining skill from the VHS tape. I've been told yes and no. I haven't tested it myself, but the point is like it's not as important because you could just like use VHSs later and get this like kind of little skill boost kind of a thing. But it is free skill points, so if you do happen to have access to a house, you have a watch on, and the house has a television, you're not getting chased by a bunch of zombies or whatever, it's safe enough, then you can try to watch a show. Boom, show's done. Got a whole bunch of cooking skill points. Very nice. So that's some good value right there. Like I said, we want to rip this sheet so that we can have some way of bandaging ourselves. We can also take some extra just like curtains in general so that we can cover up windows in a temporary safe house. That's not a terrible idea. They are kind of heavy though. Another thing we want to do is we want to kind of start stuffing our face because our character starts with the underweight trait, and there's tons of food around in game. You know, you pretty much everywhere you go, you're going to find canned food inside houses and just other food, and you want to just kind of eat a whole bunch of food and continue to gain weight to try to get closer to getting rid of that trait. Okay. Now, books, magazines, like Herbalist is something useful for, I think this is for farming remedies. Or herbal remedies for farm stuff, or maybe it's for something else. Either way, I'm not going to worry about like books and magazines generally right now, or I'm not going to worry about books right now. Magazines, however, are like pretty quick to read. Yeah, we're going to grab this extra curtain. Magazines are pretty quick to read, and like we might take some of those ones, especially any vehicle ones, because like those I feel like are a little bit more rare. We could read those, or just throw them in our bag and save them and read them for later whenever we're safe. Maybe we watch a television show and then I read the magazine while we're watching that. You can still gain the skills and read the magazine. So we're in Riverside. It's pretty low zombie population compared to everywhere else. And just generally while walking outside, I definitely recommend having the camera zoomed out. It'll give you a lot better idea of how far away you're going to be aggroing zombies, or how far the aggro zombie range is, or whatever. Because if you're zoomed in far or close, it's easier to misinterpret. Like you might be wondering, why are zombies aggroing me from off screen? Well, it's because it's because like they have a very long range, and you're not zoomed out enough to be able to like tell, you know, that they're aggroing on you. So like this is how far back I think you should have it, all the way in general. So what are we looking for now? There's a number of things. Like I said, we want food. Okay, we need to eat a lot of food, get fat because our character's underweight. We have a thing that holds water. I would rather have 3 water bottles than this. I actually don't know that it like weighs less than a kettle of water, but I think 3 water bottles probably carries more than this. Regardless, so I want a water bottle, 3 water bottles, because our character has high thirst, and that should help us manage that pretty fine, and we'll refill water whenever we can. This is going to be especially important when water stops running. Water and electricity will shut off between day 0 and day 30. So water container, want more food. We have a can opener. Another thing I want is a pair of scissors. The reason we want a pair of scissors is so that we can cut up leather clothing. We also want to have a hammer, a saw, a screwdriver. We want a backpack, and we want better clothing. Those are the main things that we want. There are other things that we could be getting too. Weapon. Weapon is pretty important. The weapon is definitely something that we're interested in. But tools, backpack, clothing, weapon, basically, is what we want. So, tools and some of weapons, like my preferable weapons, are going to be ones that we find inside of sheds. So I know that there's a zombie close by. They might have aggroed on me. I don't know yet. Okay, so we got a crowbar. Okay, crowbar is a really good weapon to get early, and its condition is full. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but the thing that's really OP about the crowbar is that it takes a really long time to break. It has the best durability maintenance in the game. Okay, we got that guy aggroing. There's also a screwdriver here. That's another thing that I said that we wanted. There's a rake, a pipe wrench, and a trowel. I don't really need any of those things. We do want this. No? Okay. And like I said, so crowbar is really lucky. And this is going to last us, like, if I was hitting zombies all day, like, it would last us multiple days, no problem. It takes a long time for the crowbar to break. So another thing that I said that we want clothes. Okay, this jacket, you can see it has improved bite defense, scratch defense. We're gonna wear that. Ideally, what we want in the end is a leather jacket, but this will do for now. Another thing that we could be collecting right now is garbage bags. You can actually put one in your hand, not in your belt loop, but in your hand, and you could place things inside of the garbage bag. It'll like reduce the weight that it's having an effect on your inventory, but not super crazy important. Is that door busted off already? Oh no, it's just a window. Okay, anyway. So adhesive bandage, we can use that instead of a ripped sheet to bandage ourselves. The thing that I like about adhesive bandages is they don't take up that much weight. And, okay, this guy's... Are you gonna bang on the door or the window? Come on. Come inside. No? Anyway. Although the jean shorts look like they're not... Oh, no, yeah, these ones don't. There's, like, long jean shorts that visually don't look much different than these, and they actually do cover your shins, but these ones don't. Yeah, these ones don't do that. So there are, like, long jean shorts that do cover that. Another thing that I didn't mention that we're going to be looking for is a watch. I mentioned having a watch to check the time for the television shows, but that's definitely something that we want. Something that we could be wanting for later when we're kind of having a better idea of where we're going to want to set up our base. Having a bunch of cooking pots is very useful. I'm not going to worry about carrying one around right now. It weighs too much. There's a water bottle. Nice. Like I said, I want 3 of those. Whole bunch of canned food. We're going to open up all these cans, and then we're just going to eat them as we walk around. Am I wearing the same jean shorts? I mean, I would be wearing them. Trust me. If I had them, I would be. Okay, so we got that. There's more food in the fridge. Let's see if there's anything in the freezer. So there's fresh frozen ice cream. Boom, that's great. That's great for getting fat. So we're gonna eat that whole tub of ice cream, and that's gonna, you can see the chevrons, at least one will appear. Yep, so we're gaining weight. That's perfect. We need to get fatter because our character's underweight. This is the perfect thing for getting fatter. So we have a great weapon. We already have a screwdriver. We're looking for a hammer, a saw. Hammers and saws, and screwdrivers as well, but hammers and saws. Typically, you're going to be finding those in garages. So we could try, or sheds, like that shed that we found the crowbar. Anything that's like a crowbar is a weapon that I would probably recommend using. Metal bars, metal pipes, crowbar. Those are like my favorite weapons personally. I don't like bats as well. Bats are great. I don't like knives very much in the game. If you attach them to a spear, that's one thing. But there are some other pretty decent weapons, but they're generally a little bit harder to come across. Shovels, they break easier, I feel like, than what they used to, so I don't like them quite as much. The gardening fork is like the long gardening fork. That thing is nuts. It's very, very strong. I definitely like it. It's one of my favorite weapons, but they kind of break quick. But they do a lot of damage, and they attack very, very quickly. So I'll take another garbage bag.
Welcome to
Hey, thanks for the 16 months, Sir Foggy. I really appreciate it. Keep up the good time. Keep the good times rolling. All right, you got it. I wasn't gonna keep the good times rolling, but I mean, like, now I kind of have to, don't I? Can you recover from being infected from a bite? No. If you get bit, that is, at least in vanilla, there are mods that allow you to kind of like cure that kind of stuff. But in vanilla, if you get bit, that's it. You're done. And if you get a laceration from a zombie, that's a 25% chance of infection. And if you do get infected, then you're done. And if you get a scratch from a zombie, then that is a 7% chance of infection. And then, yeah, so. Other injuries, like you can get injuries and survive, but I'm talking about injuries from zombies. Yeah. Okay, so other things we're looking for, like I said, we need better clothing. The other tools that we need a backpack. We're actually close to the river here. We have the mini map up here. Now, if you're playing on, oh, there's a gun. No, I don't need a gun. But we're playing on Survivor, so we can hit multiple zombies at the same time. That's very nice for us. One thing that you could do is you can stand on top of the zombies. Okay, we got a holster here. We can wear that. So there is a gun here. It's got a few rounds in it. There's a shotgun here. It's not something that I would recommend new people try to use. So yeah, I would just not really worry about it. They make a lot of noise, and they attract a lot of zombies, and this can cause a lot of problems for especially for newer players, I think. So I don't want to recommend. Wouldn't really recommend that. Yeah, thanks again, Sir Foggy. Thanks for the 16. I really appreciate it. Don't leave any love lying around. Make sure you pick it up and take it with you. Are there differences of the wound getting infected or zombie infection, or does infection just equal zombie infection? No. You can get a normal injury and get a infection, and like that's not the zombie infection. It's just like you're getting sick or whatever, right? It's just a normal infection, and ideally you want to like clean the wound out, clean your character, clean the blood off your clothes, and and then rebandage that, and then hopefully you can get that infection to clear up. Yeah, that's not the same as a zombie infection. Okay, so the reason I'm attacking this group of zombies is this guy's got a hard hat, and hard hats are pretty nice. And we have a leather jacket here. And the other thing to check on these pieces of clothing is you can inspect them. You can see the condition. See the condition? The bar is full. So when we inspect that piece of clothing, all of these pieces of clothing are like they're like protecting to its fullest capability, right? So that's good. That's important. And we have a hard hat here that's going to protect her head. Very nice. Bam. So now when we look at our protection, our head is super well protected from bites and scratches. It's not super common to get a bit on the head, but it does happen sometimes. And then now because we have that leather piece of clothing on, we have much better protection elsewhere. We still need to get some like long jeans. So here we go. So these long jeans should be covering all of the parts, like our shins included, which currently our jean shorts are not. So we will wear that. Okay, so another thing that we could be doing is trying to accumulate some thread early if we want, thread and needle. It's not absolutely necessary, but if you get an early start on it. Oh, is there a watch on one of these guys? Okay, yeah. Okay, we have a normal watch. I'd like a digital watch. Oh, and there's a car key too. You can find car keys on dead zombies near cars. You can also find them inside the car itself and inside buildings nearby the car. So we have a wristwatch here. I'd prefer to have a digital watch just because it gives you more information, but the time is the main thing. So yeah, thank you. These shoes are better protection than the shoes that we're currently wearing, so we'll take off those sneakers. But yeah, another thing we could try to accumulate is thread, and the way that we accumulate thread, you can actually find thread, like, and loot it in the world, but the other way to get this is by ripping clothing. Every time you rip a piece of clothing, it has a chance of generating thread. Anytime it does generate thread, you gain a little bit of skill in tailoring. So currently we haven't gained any points, but if we see a piece of thread, so we have a piece of thread in here now, so we should have a very small amount of tailoring skill. It just takes time, it adds up. Thread doesn't weigh very much. You can combine it together into one piece. So obviously you don't want to do this unless like you're relatively safe, but like we looked around, didn't seem to be any zombies right nearby. I wouldn't necessarily recommend just like setting the speed in game really high and then just going at it, because like you'll very likely have zombies walk up on you. Okay, but we can throw away all these dirty rags. I don't need this many ripped sheets, so I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the full pile on the ground, and then I'm going to go to, like, grab one. I'm just going to click it 4 times. That's what I'm going to do. And so we can combine these threads, right-click on it, and then add to. Right-click, add to, other thread, and then we just, like, combine it into one. Just makes it, like, a little bit nicer. So the dash bull driver, that's going to be this truck thing here. It looks pretty beat up. It doesn't, so, like, we're not going to be really looking for vehicles this early. It's actually not drivable at all. Interesting. I might be able to open the back of it, though. Yeah. So there's a sack and there's a wrench. Not really looking for a wrench right now. You could, I mean, it does fit in the belt loop. We could put it there. That's fine. Like, it's something that you use for mechanics stuff. Yeah, I can't actually get into the car. But there is a trailer on the back, which is pretty cool. Another garbage bag if we want it. We could potentially try to remember this location and come back and get this trailer with a higher quality vehicle and like use that for extra storage. It's got 100 storage in it, which is pretty nice. What's up, Bell Pepper? How you doing today? I imagine you playing this like Stone Shard when you explain it. You move, then the zombies move. Yeah, I wish it was that nice. It's very common for me to be sitting here talking about something, and then zombies will just walk up on me and I'll almost die. So I could check the other vehicles for stuff. Our character is getting anxious. The reason they're getting anxious is because we are a smoker, and I haven't found any smokes yet, so... you can find cigarettes inside of vehicles and on zombies' corpses and stuff like that. You do need matches or lighter to use them. You can also find them in trash cans, too. Okay, there's a shed over there. I don't think that that shed has any windows on it. I don't think. This house does not have a television, unfortunately. More canned foods. Alright, anything else in here? I kind of want a water bottle. I could use a beer bottle. And I could drink it, but it makes you tired. And also, if you drink enough, it'll get you drunk. Hashtag beer facts. So I got a couple of water bottles. I could probably throw the kettle of water on the ground, but I'm not like over encumbered or anything right now. Anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. I could check this shed though. Let's eat our can of corned beef, and then we'll hop the fence. Now, I do one thing that's like easy to do is make the mistake of using the jog to hop fences. And you can get injured doing that, so I don't recommend it. I recommend slowing down and then just using E to climb over it. Because you can get injured, you can get scratched, you can have your clothing tear on fences. So, yeah, this is locked. I don't think that there's a window on it. Oh, there is, actually. I lied. Okay, cool. And then there's stuff in there, too. There's generators. This is that's like a mid-game thing. You can try to remember where generators are, come back for them. They are very high value for like mid-late game, because when the power goes out, you need generators, yeah. But I'm not going to worry about trying to move it around now. They're extremely heavy. You need a vehicle to move them, basically. You need to drive a vehicle up to it and then place it inside of it, yada yada. What else? So we're still looking for some other stuff. We can check that shed over there for some more tools. Like I said, garages, sheds, industrial loot stuff. Those are the places you're going to find hammer, saw. You can get some nails, too. Nails are, nails with a hammer. You can board up windows. Even for, like, temporary safe locations. There's a digital watch there. I was kind of looking at the inventory while a zombie is walking towards me. Not a great idea. We'll put, I tell you what, we'll wear 2 watches. Why not? Okay, so this watch doesn't, the alarm isn't set. You can either, like, you can turn the alarm off here, or you could, like, go to the watch in your inventory. You could right-click set alarm. Another zombie walking up on me. You can hear that zombie from pretty far away. We can take vitamins here. Vitamins, I didn't expect to find any so early, but vitamins and beta blockers are both pretty decent little kind of boosts to your character. Vitamins will make your character... The main thing that I use vitamins for is to try to get your character less tired. Like, if you're getting tired at an inconvenient time, like you're kind of getting chased by way too many zombies, you don't think you're going to be able to lose them. Like, once your character starts to get tired, take some vitamins. Sometimes if you've begun to get tired for too long, like vitamins, you have to take a lot of them. But anyway, we have another black digital watch here. I'm going to dismantle this since we have the screwdriver. What that's going to do is give us a little bit of skill in electrical, 0.65, but you can find a lot of digital watches. I don't really care about the scrap electronics here. I'll just throw those on the ground, but getting to 1 point of skill in electrical is good, because once you get to 1 point of electrical and 2 points of mechanics, then you can hotwire cars. So unless you took the burglar as your starting ability. What's up, Kuno? Happy weekend to you. Unless you took the burglar as your starting, then you would like to be able to hotwire cars. It's a very, very strong ability. Let's see. I don't think this one doesn't appear to have a lock on it or a window on it. So unless this is open, it is open. Oh, very nice. Very nice. So yet again, storage sheds, metal bar, metal pipe. These are good weapons. I like them quite a bit. These ones are a little bit damaged, but still. And we got a garden saw. That's awesome. The only thing that we're missing right now is a hammer. Empty gas can is also a pretty good thing to get early. It's like a little early for it, but we could take it. It's not a bad thing to have, because you can, if you find keys to a vehicle, like we found the keys to that truck, right? But if that vehicle was in operating condition, but it just didn't have any fuel, we could take our fuel can, siphon fuel off of other cars, or find a gas station, fill it up, and then bring it back to that vehicle, and then boom, we have an operating vehicle. I'm not really worried about trying to get a vehicle up and running right now. Not really necessary. So, one of the things to look out for is what the zombies are wearing. So I'm looking for a backpack. I already have a leather coat, leather gloves or something that are really high value. So what I want to do right now is I kind of want to show a little bit about managing zombie aggro and jogging in the game, and how I don't recommend that you run. You can jog with shift, and you can sprint with alt. And I don't really recommend doing that pretty much at all when you're dealing with zombies, unless you absolutely have to. And the reason is it takes up your stamina. So I'm gonna jog here just a little bit, just to make sure I can shoot that little gap. But you walk faster than zombies do, so just don't run unless you have to, because you're gonna end up taking away all of your stamina. And then when you actually need to run, or you actually need to fight a zombie, if your character is tired, it's gonna take more swings to put down a zombie, and then you're gonna be in really big trouble. Okay, so I just recommend walking. You can have a lot of zombies on you, and it's really not a problem. It can be kind of scary. I'm just looking in the back of that trunk. There's a couple of gas cans. In fact, one of them has gas in it. But yeah, you can have a lot of zombies on you, and it can be like, how the hell am I gonna get rid of these? Kind of a situation. But we'll show you how to do that too. So if, like, one of the things you want to do is, like, because you walk faster than zombies, if I were to just walk in a straight line, one of the problems that you can have is, like, the zombies will split up. So one thing that I like to do if I'm, like, trying to get rid of a large group of zombies is I kind of, like, zigzag back and forth. And it puts me closer to the zombies, so, like, it is risky. But, like, I can get them more, I can zigzag back and forth, get them more clumped up. Like, they're a little bit more spread out. They're still a little bit more spread out. So, like, I'll try to kind of get them more clumped together, so that way they're not all, like, spread out all over the place. So when I go to actually lose the group of zombies, like, they're all in the same position. So when I break line of sight from the group, like, we don't like have some that are, like, further to one side than the other. So like they're all after me here. So I'm gonna use the sprint key and use alt. And there's a big group of zombies on the house too. But that's not a problem. We're just gonna kind of keep going, and the main thing is to just break line of sight from that big group. So just like that, and, like, now we don't have to worry about that big group anymore. I mean, like, now we've run into another little group of zombies here, and we might have that closest zombie. That one's probably gonna keep following us and stuff. Like, I wouldn't want to, like, loop back around and just assume that full group, like, just de-aggroed me. But, actually, I didn't even actually aggro those ones. I'm actually pretty surprised. Got another group down there, so maybe we don't want to aggro those. Like, Riverside is pretty low population of zombies, so, I mean, it's kind of... But that works with any group of zombies, really. You can have hundreds chasing you, and that will work. And so here we pulled a whole bunch more. One of the things that I don't recommend is, like, when you come around the corner of a house, I'm actually pretty bad at following this rule myself. If you come around the corner of a house or a vehicle, I just recommend staying away from vehicles just generally while you're dealing with zombies, because it's easy to get caught in the corners of cars. But where exactly am I in this town? I'm not really sure. I do see on the mini-map that there's some houses up here, though. I actually kind of like the foraging changes in 41. At first, I wasn't sure about them, but now I think it's kind of neat, especially like the additional things that you can find while foraging. Pretty cool. Okay, so woods are not good places to lose zombies. There's almost always zombies like just strewn about the frickin' woods, and it's very difficult to consistently lose zombies in the woods, I think. And you'll just run into more of them in there anyway, and you'll end up, by the time you get through the other side, you've aggroed a whole new group of zombies. But again, I'm not going to use shift to go over. We'll walk up to the fence and press E. And I have a pretty decent group here, and then I'm walking into more in front of me, but that's okay. I'm going to just kind of walk to the side here. Just kind of let them aggro on me. And I'm going to try to find a place to lose them. The main thing is to not panic. Like, your character's going to panic, but you need to not panic. Don't panic for your character's sake, okay? We got Morris's bait shop over here. We're going to use Morris's bait shop. So what I meant when, like, don't walk right to the edge of this building and then, like, expect this corner to be clean, because there could just be a great big group there. So I won't lose the whole group on that corner of the building, but I'm just gonna kind of keep going anyway. And then, like, by the time I get to this side of the building, now we've probably lost them, but we have another small group here. But I would imagine they'll probably at least walk up to the edge of this building the last time that they saw me. So, like, wouldn't expect me to be totally clear here, but nevertheless, you're gonna aggro zombies, especially in the early game while you're walking around, especially while you're new. And, like, even if you take the inconspicuous trait, you just aggro zombies. See what I mean? Like, they weren't even actually walking towards me. They're walking towards, like, where they were aggroed on me last. So, yeah, they're just, like, walking where they, like, last know that I was. I'm not exactly sure where I am. I'm not super familiar with Riverside, so I'm like, it's like I'm in the eastern section of town is what it kind of looks like to me. I'm not really sure, but I do need to get back to some buildings if I want to continue to find more resources, more food, more supplies, and stuff like that. Okay. Here's an actual business. Okay, so I'm just on, like, the northern edge of town is the way that it looks to me, actually. We're gonna keep eating food here. Yeah, we lost all the aggro, and we lost ourselves along the way, as it turns out. Okay, I'm gonna deal with these couple of zombies that are here. So one thing, if I want, while I'm dealing with this other zombie that's aggroed on me, when I'm only dealing with two, this is especially useful. I can just sit here and stand on the other zombie, and he can't get up while I'm standing on him. We can finish him off. The way that I'm scrolling through the inventory here is I'm holding shift and using mouse wheel. Just looking around. I thought I maybe heard one close to me, but apparently not. I'm using shift. You can use shift while you have the mouse cursor inside of here or inside of this part of your inventory. Otherwise, you can not hold shift, put your mouse cursor over here, and use mouse wheel to scroll through here as well. Or otherwise, you could click. But I think clicking is a little bit more annoying. So. So I haven't found any backpacks. I don't think that in the larger group of zombies that we lost earlier, we could dismantle another one of these watches. It's not, like, super important, but it's just, like, pretty easy to do, and it doesn't take any time. It's not super risky or anything. I wouldn't be too surprised if there's a operating vehicle, maybe even one with keys left in it in this group of cars. We'll see. If you get too close, your character will shove them. So like being in an actual so that it's like visually correct. The way that you're swinging at the zombie is a good idea. Denim shirt is very good. It gives us a lot of good protection. There's a lot of information to kind of try to get across in the game, so it might be a bit overwhelming, but it's stuff that you'll pick up. A lot of it's stuff that you'll pick up along the way. Another digital watch, dismantle. Get rid of the electronics. Okay. So the zombies are getting highlighted green. That might not be happening for you when you're attacking them with a melee weapon. That's an option in the settings. Aim outline. It's under display, aim outline, and any weapon. Set that to any weapon. It might be defaulted on ranged weapons. I'm not 100% sure. That's a setting that I definitely recommend. It'll give you a lot better idea of why you're hitting or why you're not hitting a zombie. So we can check these vehicles, just see if they're locked. You can also find keys on the ground. You can also use the foraging skill to find keys on the ground. Okay. So, nothing in the ignition. You want to check the ignition here. See if there's anything in the glove box. There's a pistol, torch, rounds, stuff like that. Not really interested. One thing you can do, I don't really use the feature too much, but if you have a pen in your inventory and you open up your map with M, you can mark stuff on the map. So that's a thing that you can do. I don't see any keys on the ground offhand, but they're kind of hard to see, so I wouldn't be surprised if I missed it. Okay, nothing in the ignition. Nothing in there either. There's alcohol wipes. Those are nice. You can disinfect a wound with that, so we'll take that. I'm also checking not only for keys here, but like the alcohol wipes like we found, but also you can find smokes in there and lighters and matches and stuff like that. And you can also check the trunk, by the way. Like if it's lunked, if the trunk is locked, that'll be lit green. So you can unlock it while in there, and then you can open up the back. And there's nothing in there, but sometimes you can find stuff in there. Okay, so I have a laundromat. Not anything particularly useful. I think this looks like a clothing store to me. It's not particularly useful to me either. I didn't unlock... Oh, this one wasn't even locked. I don't need the flashlights. I don't like flashlights in this game. Nothing that I need here. If you're like making spears, twine, or no, I think you need duct tape, don't you? Maybe you can use twine. I don't remember, but I don't like flashlights. If you have a weapon that only uses one hand, then you can use a flashlight in the other hand. I'm using a weapon that requires two hands, so I couldn't hold a flashlight even if I wanted to, not while having my weapon out. So there's some cigarettes. Great. Oh no, there are matches in here. Okay, great. So a character is agitated, so we can actually smoke and get rid of that trait. Still haven't found a backpack. We still haven't found a hammer either. Those are definitely things that we'd like to find if we can. I think that, like, if the passenger side is open... Okay, boom, we got the keys now. Nice. So we can put the keys in the ignition. Let's see what's up with this. Nothing. So I can go up to another vehicle and I can press V. Because I have a empty gas can, it'll tell me that I can, like, extract fuel. I can also right-click on it. I think you can do it from any distance. I'm not 100% sure, though. I might be wrong. I might need to go up to the vehicles and actually check. Oh, more keys. Nice. So this vehicle looks to be in a better condition than that green one, so this could be a solid vehicle. Another adhesive bandage. Well, finding a vehicle, and we have a gas can, like I said, and we even know that there's that truck that we passed earlier that actually has a gas can that has gas in it. So if we wanted, we could have an operating vehicle right now. So that's definitely a pretty good goal. You can use the online project Zomboid map, which I definitely recommend as a new player, unless you want to completely explore it yourself. As a new player, it can be very easy to get lost, and that can kind of help you find a good place to hold up and survive. I'm not going to really talk a whole lot about finding a good place to actually. I think I see keys right there. Yeah, there's some car keys on the ground. But like, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about a good places to survive. Generally, the things that I'm looking for is that it has a tall fence around it already, or like the majority of it, and that's like the main thing that I'm looking for, because you can just improve bases from there on out. And we have the keys for this as well. Oops, I didn't check the glove box either. The lighter, adhesive bandage, these are useful. So, I don't know, that's probably about the main thing in terms of surviving early. I think that we kind of covered the basics. I know I didn't find everything. We're still looking for a backpack. You want to like just watch for zombies of those. Losing groups of zombies. Not sprinting. Not jogging unless you absolutely have to. Kind of clumping up groups of zombies that are following you around and using the building as to break line of sight. That kind of stuff is really important. And we kind of keep our eyes open for good stuff. We could try to find. Let's like find a place to rest. Like I could rest here, but like that's like kind of like lucky. You know, we're in Riverside. There's not a lot of zombies aggroed around. We could find a window that opens. You know, as long as like we could just rest on the floor here, rest in a chair. Our character isn't tired right now, but anyway, something that you could do. But I'll go around and we'll find a place to stay. We'll like go find some zombies and then like lose their aggro and then find a place to stay once our character is tired. Bars can be very, very strong to get booze in. And cigarettes as well, but let's find some liquor. So we find bourbon, and bourbons are good. You can disinfect rags. That's one useful thing. You can also make a Molotov cocktail. Molotov cocktails are very, very, very good. So just like what I showed earlier when we were pulling around that big group of zombies, you can do that same exact thing and just slowly walk around, but have them be on fire, so they're all just dying as they're following you around. And you can get hundreds and hundreds of zombies following you around, and you can have them all just be on fire, and then they will die. So it's very, very, very strong. Some food. There's plenty. I'm sure there's plenty of junk food here. I'm not going to worry about that. We already talked about eating, so our character gets rid of that underweight trait. But, yeah, Molotovs are really strong because you can just have, like I said, all the zombies following you. You can have them be on fire, and so then they will eventually die. There are risks associated with, like, burning down a lot of buildings. Generally, like, the most ideal situation is, like, you walk the zombies around until they're, like, all dead. Like, that's super ideal. Because the larger the group of zombies that's aggroed on you, the more noise it makes, the more zombies get attracted. You can also use guns to attract more zombies to a large group following you. That's like a pretty advanced thing, but since we found the bar and I found a Molotov cocktail, that's something that's definitely a super duper powerful thing to do. It's just like a little advanced, but it is pretty basic, really, where you just have zombies following you around. Just kind of show an example here. Molotovs act kind of weird, so it can be kind of tricky. You might want to like equip the Molotov ahead of time, because it can be easy to like be looking at your inventory. Like, I'm gonna look at my inventory here, not really looking at the game. Equip this as my primary weapon, equip the lighter as my secondary. And like while you're doing that, you can like walk into zombies. Just be careful. But so when you throw a Molotov, see how it like hangs in the air? Yeah, Molotovs are really annoying like that. They just kind of do that, and sometimes it's easy to throw a Molotov too far, and it just like hangs, and you end up missing a whole bunch of zombies. And they have to like... It's usually not a huge problem because you can just walk back. But still, so you can look back. So some of the zombies are on fire. But you kind of, like I said before, you do some zigzag stuff to clump them up. You do the same thing while they're on fire. And the fire will spread from zombie to zombie. And you'll end up with just any amount of zombies following you. Like, literally any amount. You could have thousands of zombies following you, and it would bog the game down quite a bit, but this will eventually, the zombies will die. It takes a very long time, so it is like a lot of walking around that your character has to do, but nevertheless, it's very, very powerful, pretty advanced, like I said. But since we found a Molotov, I figure I'd show that. Let's try to find a place to rest, though. I mean, honestly, I could rest like in one of these cars potentially, but these zombies are going to continue to follow me. Now, like, the reason I said the ideal situation is that you walk this group of zombies, or like continue to accumulate more zombies and get them more on fire, but you like walk them around until they all die. The reason I say that's ideal is if I were to just like leave completely, then the zombies, fire is kind of weird. Like, sometimes the zombies will die, sometimes they won't, sometimes they'll move and like light buildings on fire. Buildings seem to just burn like off, like completely out of your draw distance in my experience. So like fires will kind of go absolutely bananas if you just like kind of leave them unattended. But like I said, ideally, you kind of like walk the fire around until all the zombies are dead, or most of them, until it gets to a point where you can just kill them with melee. So you can probably tell that our conal vision is significantly worse. Our character is getting tired, so that's an effect, but it's also dark out, so that's going to negatively impact it as well. So, like, the more tired you are, the more dark it is, the more risky it's going to be moving around. And like because I walked so fast, I've like lost all of those zombies that were on fire. If we wanted to try to get this group on fire, we could like walk back. Just got to make sure that like you don't walk yourself into a corner, but like we could walk back to like kind of get the fire to spread again, since there's still one that was left on fire. In fact, it actually went out. Oh no, it did spread. Never mind. I didn't think that it spread, so I could like walk them back onto that fire that was still remaining on the ground. So anyway, so like that's that. And then we could. So if we want to try to find a place to sleep, like I don't, like I said, I'm not really super familiar. It's kind of like a. I'm not 100% sure where we are because I haven't been playing in Riverside for a very long time. But there are some like okay enough buildings around. We just have to lose the zombies is the main thing. So it's going to be pretty much kind of like we did before, where we just need to like kind of have them in a group and then break line of sight and then get to a building. But just like any of the other times where we lost groups of zombies, you know, you could just run right into another group. But ideally, you know, you run into a group that's manageable with melee weapons, and then you just kind of finish them off. I might be just walking into more wilderness here, so I'm going to walk towards the place where I know buildings are. Again, I'm not going to jog. It's tempting to jog because I'm kind of feel like I'm in a hurry. I want to find a place to rest. But it's just going to be much better if we just walk and then jog when we're ready to kind of break away from the group. Yeah. Still haven't found any zombies with backpacks. I'll probably take a look at the Project Zomboid map like after. We find a place to lay low. But it looks like I kind of even lost the group. I just walked away from them, honestly. They're probably still going to be aggroed on me and stuff, but... Okay, so we have our camera zoomed out. We can see there's a group down there. This door has been completely bashed down. Not super interested in staying there. Without having... It's not like it's not impossible to stay in a house that's had the door bashed down, yeah. But not something that I'm going to try to do. Okay, so we can see there's a group down there. I don't know if I'm going to aggro that or not. I think that might have been a group that I had, like, lost aggro on before, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I'm going to go to this house here. I don't know if this is the starting house or not. Okay, so we picked up aggro here. So you can see the tired, the drowsy trait. I was moving my mouse to show it. Almost got myself killed. The drowsy trait is like shaking back and forth, and the reason that that's happening, I'm gonna wear that. It'll give us more protection. The reason that's happening is because it's like negatively impacting our combat. So. That's definitely, like, one of the reasons you don't want to walk around while you're tired. I did see some zombies behind the house there. But one thing that is nice about this house is it has curtains on it. But I think I have zombie aggro, actually. I think. Yeah, I do. That startled me, even. Daggone it. But generally, like if you're staying in a house, ideally you have curtains on all the windows, at least. Oops, I'm not inside the house. I can't close the curtains. Lights off, curtains closed, and then it's like gonna be pretty okay to sleep generally. It's like kind of general, but like not a bad idea to like get hydrated and like set up in terms of like food supplies that are in the house before you go to sleep, so that way if you do get waken up and there's like zombies outside, you can just leave. It's fine. Like you don't have to like worry about, like, you've already gathered all the supplies in the place, so it's not as big of a deal. You heard that shot in the distance? That's just like a random event. There's one of many random events. There's like shotgun shot like that. There's machine gun fire. There's people screaming. There's another really big event that is the helicopter event, and that helicopter event is one where if the helicopter, basically if you're outside or if you've done anything that has the potential to aggro the helicopter, when it spawns, then it will like kind of hover around your location and attract zombies to it. Sometimes you can like have already been inside when the helicopter spawns and it like won't know where you are, but even that, it seems kind of inconsistent. Sometimes it really seems to just figure out where you are somehow anyway. But generally, I would say the thing that you want to do when the helicopter is around, because it attracts so many zombies, you want to like go away from wherever it is that you're staying, or if you have an intended place to stay, leave it and just kind of like walk around, or like yeah, just basically walk around elsewhere until the helicopter goes away, because that guy will just cause all kinds of problems for you generally. And you can, if you tune in with a radio, you can like get an indicator of like when that helicopter is going to show up, but it's not something that I typically do. I just kind of deal with it when it happens. So anyway, that's like the super basics. We didn't find absolutely everything, but we found a couple of good things. I think that's like a pretty good way to kind of get started and hopefully give you a little bit of a better idea of what you need to be doing and some tools to survive a little bit longer in Project Zomboid. So